Not just dough, but actual fish. That is exactly why I love making mine at home. Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so to prepare my fish roll filling, I'm using Titus fish. Honestly, I like shower fish, but because of the bones, I don't think I have the patience to pick out all the bones, so I decided to use Titus fish. Okay, so feel free to use any fish that you want to use. It could be Cote, it could be Titus, it could be shower. But if you want my honest review, just use shower or Titus. If you have the patience to pick out all the bones from shower fish, is okay. But if you don't, just use Titus fish. Okay. All right. So before cooking the fish, I like to season it properly so that every bite is flavorful, not bland. First, I take some scotch bonnet pepper, green pepper, onions, garlic, and spring onions. Blend them roughly, not too smooth. I still want a little texture, okay? If you are just coming across my video, please subscribe, alright? And also like and share my videos. Also leave me a comment, anything you want me to do video on, in as much it has to do with baking tips, homemade recipes, and even food. Please just drop it in the comment section. Thank you. Alright, so I make some cuts along the fish, just light slits, okay? This helps the seasoning get right inside, not just sitting on the surface. Alright, so I take my roughly blended mix, talking about the scotch bonnet, the green pepper, onions, and the rest, and then I gently massage that into the fish. All right, at this point I have to wear my gloves because my hands and pepper, we are not friends. Okay, so I gently massage that into the fish. I also add curry, thyme, salt, and a little seasoning cube. All right, massaging the spices in makes sure the flavor soak deep into the fish while it cooks, so it is tasty all the way through, not just on the outside. These steps makes a big difference, trust me, because when you finally use the fish in your filling, the taste is bold, rich, and well balanced. I almost finished it even before making the fish roll because it was so tasty. Serious, please don't go and finish yours, okay? So just give that a good mix and cook it for a few minutes, okay? Lovelies, I hope you're learning something. Also, I would really love to hear from you. If you were to rate me on how I teach in my videos, what would you say? Am I explaining too fast? Or do you think I break things down well enough? Do you feel I communicate clearly? Please drop your honest thoughts in the comments. It will really help me improve and serve you better. Thank you. Alright, so while the fish was cooking, I went ahead to prep the rest of my ingredients, okay? Slicing up the peppers, spring onions, grating the carrots, okay, and also getting everything ready for the filling, of course. Then lastly, I blended a little bit of raw scotch bonnet pepper. All right, I didn't want it to be too spicy, but just enough to give the filling that nice peppery taste and a little kick of heat. All right, just the way I enjoy it. Alright, so I cleaned the work surface. I love working on the clean surface, alright? Our fish is ready. Just look at that. Alright, so I debone the fish carefully and flake it into nice pieces. Trust me, it was hot. Ogbono feli, but I have to do this, right? And it's all ready. To start preparing the filling, I added a little oil into my pan. Not too much, okay? Just enough to coat the base. Once the oil was warm, I went in with my onions and garlic. and allow them to sizzle for a few seconds. Alright, these steps actually helps release their natural oils and sweetness. Okay, so I added the rest of the veggies and seasoned with my salt, seasoning cubes, and allowed that to cook for a few seconds, alright, before the scotch bonnet pepper I blended. I gave that a good mix and allowed it to cook for a few seconds again before adding my deboned fish. Alright, at this time I've already tasted it to say that the seasoning were perfect. Okay, so I added my deboned fish. I gave that a good mix, and the last thing I added was my grated carrot. I stirred that and take it off the heat, and it was ready. Just look at that. So I always like to measure out all my ingredients before I start mixing. Okay, so here I have 250 grams of flour, 90 grams of butter, half tablespoon of baking powder, half tablespoon of sugar, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of cinnamon for that extra flavor. First, I combine all the dry ingredients in my bowl and give them a good mix. You can see what I'm doing, right? Okay, now here comes the important part. Adding the butter, and not just any butter but cold butter. The reason is simple. If you want your fish roll to come out beautifully flaky and light, your butter must be cold. Okay, yes, because warm or melted butter would just blend into the flour, making the dough heavy. All right, but when you use cold butter, it stays in little pieces inside the dough, and as it bakes, those little bites of butter melt slowly, creating flaky layers. That is the secret to a perfect bakery style fish roll. Alright, I also use cold water as well to bring the dough together. Once ready, just cover that in your fridge, alright, for 20 to 30 minutes. So after resting for 30 minutes, I brought it out from the fridge. Then first I floured my work surface, not too much flour please. Then rolled out my dough, alright, not too thin and not too thick, about 2 to 3, let's say 2 to 3 millimeters. Okay, cut into rectangles. Alright, just try to cut out the rough edges. Okay, so don't stress yourself if they are not perfect, except you are a perfectionist. Okay, now at this point you will want to be generous with your filling. Yes, okay, nobody likes an empty roll. So just do what suits you best. Alright, lovelies, if you've watched to this point, it means that you really enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a follow. Thank you once again. So brush the edges with egg wash, fold over and seal tight. Okay, then cut them into the sizes you prefer. Alright, okay, lovelies, between fried and baked fish roll, which do you prefer? As for me, I prefer baked. What about you? Drop it in the comment section. Okay, so once you are done with your rolling and filling of your fish roll, arrange them neatly on a tray. Alright, brush the tops with egg wash for that golden shine, and baked in a preheated oven at 160 degrees for 30 minutes, just until golden brown. Alright, that means you have to check your baking at interval, just so they won't get burnt. Okay, and here is the result: golden, flaky, and packed with tasty fish filling. Just try it and say bye.